Hey everybody, Yankee here. Today I want to talk about what is the best Snubbie revolver on the market today. The best Snubbie 357 Magnum revolver. Now, a lot of people are going to be like, well, is it Smith & Wesson? Or is it Colt? Or is it something like a Ruger SP101? Well, it's none of those actually. Now, if you were talking about which one is easiest to carry, well, then it would be Smith & Wesson because it would be the 360 PD. These guns are like not carrying a gun, and I carry this gun quite often when I can't carry another gun. That would be the answer if you're asking me, what's the easiest to carry Snubbie revolver in 357 Magnum? Definitely be the 360 PD. But if we're talking just best quality overall, and I know this is going to tick some people off, but it's not the Smith & Wesson. And it definitely ain't the Ruger. That thing is too big and thick for what it is. And it's not the Colt either. It is the Kimber. All right, calm down. I know I make a lot of you mad when I say that Kimber makes the best 357 Magnum Snubbie on the market today. Trust me, I kind of make myself a little mad when I say that. But it's true. I really, truly believe it. Some people think I just say that for shock factor, or they think I'm on the Kimber payroll. I am neither of those things. I'm not shocking, and I am not on the payroll. So, they're just good. They're better than the others. If you compare them to like the Smith & Wesson, the Ruger, like the King Cobras and stuff, the 60s, the SP101s especially, they're just a better gun. Now, my preference of the two is the double action, single action, but you also have the original double action only one. I'm going to show the one I prefer today, but everything I say about this one goes for this one as well, except for, when I talk about the hammer, because this one has an internal hammer and this one has an external hammer. But let's take a closer look at this gun, this here Kimber K6S double action, single action, and I'll show you why I actually mean it when I say Kimber makes the best 357 mag Snubbie revolver. All right, before we start looking at all the features and attributes of this gun that make it the best choice, in my opinion, for a 357 Magnum Snubbie, let's talk about the one place where it kind of falls down, and that's price. If you look at its competitors, the Smith & Wesson Model 60, the Ruger SP101, the Ruger LCR-X, or the Colt King Cobra Carry, this is the most expensive one. The Cobra Carry is the second most expensive one at about $1,000 MSRP. This one hits almost $1,200. The cheapest would be, I think, the Model 60 at like $820. So you're looking at a difference of $380 difference between the Smith & Wesson Model 60 and this one, and an almost $200 difference between this and the Colt. It is definitely the more expensive of the guns, but it is the better of the guns. And when you're talking about just overall quality, price doesn't matter. We're not talking about the best gun for the money or the best bargain. We're talking about the best gun overall, and price doesn't really factor into that. So it's not really a big issue for this video. Now, as far as build quality goes on this gun, it is top notch. This is a solid stainless steel piece. They use stainless steel for everything. Everything you see on the outside, the hammer, the triggers, everything. They don't use a lower grade steel that they, coat for the hammer and the trigger. This gun is just exceptionally well made. It's just top notch. It feels like you got a real solid little piece of machinery in your hand when you hold it. So the build is actually quite amazing. Now, as far as getting in the gun here and loading it up, it's got kind of a Ruger style cylinder release, and it's got a very smooth action release in that cylinder. Feels very solid, very clean. Everything about the gun feels really nice. And when you look at this cylinder here, it's finished very well. It's got kind of a melt treatment on it, so there's no sharp edges. But that's not the most important thing about the cylinder. The most important thing is that it's 6 shots. This holds 6 rounds. This and the King Cobra are the only ones that are actual 6 shooters. The others only have 5 rounds. This one gives you that 1 extra round of 357 Magnum. And the cylinders are actually recessed. Out of all these guns, out of all these makers, this is the only one that still does that. And to me, that's a sign of quality. When you shut that cylinder up, you don't see that big gap because those cylinders have been recessed. It's a much cleaner, nicer look. And going back to how all the sharp edges have been removed from the cylinder, that's true of pretty much the entire gun. It's got this almost diamond-like quality, almost gemstone kind of design to it here, where every corner has been angled off, beveled off, and it just looks really nice, makes it look really finished. There's no sharp edges, just a really nice design feature there. That is an attention to detail. That's a little extra effort they put into the gun. The barrel is very well crowned, along with having that angled bevel on the front, and it's got kind of a unique shape to the front of the barrel here. Really like that feature. On this gun, the front sight is fully removable and replaceable, and the rear sight is also not only removable, but it's beveled. So it actually fits into the gun really nicely. It doesn't look like something that's just been stuck on last minute there. It actually looks like part of the gun. That is a big step up in my opinion. Love the way they do their sights. The double action pull is very nice. The only one of its competitors that beat this gun in the trigger pull is the Colt. Colt does have a slightly nicer trigger, but that's because it's Colt. Colts have really nice trigger. That's their strong point. But as far as comparing it to the Ruger or the Smith & Wesson, this is right up there with them as far as double action triggers. And that single action trigger is incredibly crisp, light, and easy to use. Another little attention to detail is that none of the markings are cheap. They're not like little cheap pencil engravings or worse yet, laser engraving. They are very nice roll marks on this gun. Every bit of information on it, from the caliber, the name on the other side of the barrel, other information, the name of the manufacturer. It's just really well done and looks really nice, looks very high end. Another nice feature that's just a little bit of an upgrade is no flathead screws. If you look here, it's got the one visible screw and it's a hex head screw, it looks like. No cheap looking flathead screws to be found on this gun. Another thing I think they did a really good job on is the shape of this trigger guard. Look how long that is. It's so easy to get a finger in there, and the pull back on the trigger has a lot of room. It's a very natural movement, gives you a lot of space to do it in. I just really like the way they did their trigger guards. Another thing to pay attention to are the barrels. I've never yet seen a crooked barrel on a Kimber. I've seen them on Rugers, I've seen them on Smith & Wessons, but never yet on a Kimber. When you look at this gun, feel this gun, operate this gun, you can tell they took their time when they designed this gun, they did it right, and they take their time when they manufacture it. It doesn't seem like it's been rushed, and it doesn't seem like anything's been done cheaply. This gun is top notch. So there you have it. That's why I think Kimber makes the best gun. If you disagree with me, feel free to let me know. Even come to my chat and let me know. But I just think that all those things I just talked about, the way they build their guns is just impressive. I love these guns. I don't love them enough to carry them, but you know, if you're out looking for a Snubbie revolver and you want that extra round and you want a quality build and you want good sights and everything like that, well, the Kimber is just hard to beat. And in this situation, it might be impossible to beat, since most of the other Snubbies on the market just don't seem in one way or another to measure up.